Boom, 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 bah. And that's how you get around copyright. Hey, and welcome to Unreal NFX. In the past episodes of this series, we've installed Unreal Engine. We've sculpted and textured a landscape, populated it with rocks, and rendered out a camera move. All but the last had little to do with After Effects, but now we can get a video out of Unreal? What about camera moves? Well, importing a camera from After Effects is really quite simple, but exporting camera data from Real is the opposite of simple. I'm going to talk about both options here, and we'll start off with importing an AE camera. This is going to be your go-to approach when you're using Unreal for virtual sets. We'll start off in After Effects with our footage. I've grabbed this footage from Action VFX, who are sharing a whole slew of footage for users to practice with. You'd have to sign up for an account, but that's fairly standard these days. So I have an astronaut on green screen with a slight camera move, and I'll drag this onto the new comp button. This makes a comp with the matching duration and frame rate. Then I need to trim the footage to remove the end tag by holding Alt and tapping on the left square bracket. I have to do this, otherwise it will throw off After Effects camera tracker. Let's trim the comp to the shorter duration. My preferred way is to click on the time clock here and copy it. Then go to Composition, Composition Settings, and paste it here. And note the frame rate. It's not my usual 30 frames per second. So when we render out of Unreal, we'll need to make sure it matches. Now to track the camera. Go to Window, Tracker, and with the layer selected, click Track Camera. This footage is pretty good for this. This is a distinct camera move. It must have been on a jib, so that provides AE with enough movement to calculate a camera. Once it's processed, with the effect selected, select 3 points on the floor by holding Shift and clicking on them. When you're happy, right-click on the triangle and choose Set Ground Plane and Origin. Then right-click again and choose Create Null and Camera. If you select the camera and tap P, you'll see the values are massive, which will not work well for Unreal. So select the Track 1 Null layer and hit Enter and rename this to Ground. Now the reason I've done this is because I have the free Normalized Track script from Workbench.tv. This drops the values of the camera tracker down to something realistic. And we're almost done. Let's create a placeholder for our astronaut. To do that, go to Layer, New, Solid. Make it 3D. And then position and rotate it into place. If I'd right-clicked on one of the tracking markers on Camera Tracker, then this would not have been normalized and thrown the scene off. Of course, I could have done that before I normalized the track, and it would have worked fine. But you get the idea. When you're ready, go to File, Export, Maxon Cinema 4D Exporter. Ignore the warning about 2D layers. Before we head over to Unreal, we need to install the Cineware plugin directly from Maxon. Yes, I know, and yes, used to be more convenient, but well, Maxon. The link is in the description below. Head over there, sign in, and download the installer for the Unreal version you're using. Once installed, open Unreal Engine. From the Edit dropdown, select Plugins. And a new window opens. Search for Datasmith, and then check the box next to the C4D importer. And you'll need to restart Unreal. With that done, go to the Add dropdown, and there's a new section called Datasmith, and choose File Import. You can leave the settings as they are and just click Import. And I'll check for the solid, but I did notice the other geometry imported too, so yeah, no idea. So all the elements of your comp import, and if you click on the tracking camera, it's black. See that little preview, or what's meant to be a preview? In the Properties panel, search for Exposure and uncheck Metering Mode. And yeah, no idea. Now, when making an animation in Unreal, as I've covered before, we need to make a level sequence. But we have just imported an animation, and if we do try to make a level sequence, all the camera position data isn't there. Instead, using the content browser, drill down into the new folders created until you see Animations, and in there you'll find level sequences. Double click on the one you named, not the solid, and there's our camera. And if I scrub the timeline, there's our camera move. Make sure to switch the frame rate to match the original. And you can use the solid to check everything in the scene is where you expect it to be. I think if you're importing an AE camera, it's probably best to start off with the AE camera and sculpt the landscape accordingly, which is the sort of really useful tip I should have mentioned at the start. And you're ready to render. Except you're not. Something game engine. From the sequencer panel, click on the plus track button and add a camera cut track. Then click on its plus symbol and choose the 3D tracker camera. C4D also passes over visibility, which is kinda cool, but go for the top one. It's easier to just delete the solid you imported first, otherwise that will render too. Why do we need to make a camera cut track? Yeah, no idea. Rendering I've covered in that previous video, it's no different, just go to the clapperboard icon, expand unsaved config and set up the parameters accordingly. Make sure to adjust the frame rate here too. And hit render local. Once you're in After Effects again, just import the image sequence. But remember to check the frame rate once imported. Image sequences don't have frame rate, so After Effects assumes your default. In my case, 30 FPS. To correct, just right-click on the footage in the project panel, then choose Interpret Footage, Main. And in the text box next to the Assume this frame rate, change it. In the case of the Action VFX video, that's going to be 23.976 frames per second. What I really like about this shot is the camera jib has all sorts of natural wobbles that come from a manually operated move. I was fortunate enough recently to speak to 40-year veteran VFX lead Steve Bentley, who explains it far better than I can.
Yeah, and a lot of animated films, purely animated films like a Pixar or Blue Sky, they'll actually have the equivalent of camera controls. Basically, it's a digital input device. And they will have they'll bring in a real cameraman, and he'll sit in front of a monitor that can see the whole world, and he will use those controls, those physical controls in his hand in real time to make the camera moves. Otherwise, it's somebody setting keyframes, and humans are terrible at doing that because they want to smooth everything out, and it's rarely smooth. And even when you're trying to do a smooth camera move, there are little inconsistencies in a real one versus a digital one.
I think that's a really good point, and so I tried it out. This shot is keyframing the camera in Unreal. And this shot was of a 3D tracked camera. Even though it's just over a landscape, I think it looks more effective. But what do you think? There's a vote in the description and post your opinion below. But let's assume you can't shoot usable footage to bring into Unreal. I have to then export for After Effects. There's currently no simple way to export a camera, but YouTuber Winbush has figured out a method. All I'd be doing is recreating it here, which isn't ethically great, so instead I'll just say check out his video. Having said that, I found that I was able to use Camera Tracker with Unreal footage, and it was pretty straightforward to set up. There are tantalizing options when rendering in Unreal to include different passes, but these seem to have been built with high-end compositor Nuke in mind. There's something called stencil layers, but I've not investigated that yet. But that's it for this video and this series. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you're interested in learning more about Adobe After Effects, then, well, let's face it, you'll probably end up watching Video Copilot or Ben Marriott.